Hi guys, Wayne's Butler here. Well, let me explain what's going on here for some of you subscribers out there. They're probably expecting something different, but that's actually what this is going to be. This is a little departure from what I normally do. So if you just bear with me through the introductions, I'll let you know what's going on here and you can decide whether or not you want to watch it. Anyways, I want to give a first major shout out to all my friends and family at Ontario Motor Sales, especially my bros, Santino, Trevor, Steve, Derek, Dave. Love you guys. Anyways, what we got here, I'm at a place in Whitby, just outside of Oshawa, called Intrepid Park, famously known as Camp X. Now, famous spy school that was built back in World War II. Now, if you go through the plaque, let me read the plaque off here for you, and I'll just help explain what's going on. Now, English isn't my first language, actually my second. Gibberish is actually my first, so let's see if I can translate this for us. On this site, British Security Coordination operated Special Training School, number 103 in Hydra. I'll stop here for a minute. Now, this location of this monument is actually, or was the location of the Hydra building. Now, the Hydra building was a secret telecommunication building that was connected with England and the US, where over 1,200 messages a day were sent between this actual location and Bletchley Park in England. Now, anybody out there who has seen the movie Intimidation Game or knows their history knows that that's where the Enigma was translated. Anyway, let's carry on here. STS-103 trained Allied agents in the techniques of secret warfare for the Special Operations Executive SOE branch of the British Intelligence Service. Hydra Network communicated vital messages between Canada, the US, and Great Britain. This commemoration is dedicated to the service of the men and women who took part in these operations. Now, if you zoom back here down to the plaque below, the plaque here reads, "In memory of Sir William Stevenson, the man called Intrepid, born at Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, January 11th, 1896, died at Paget, Bermuda, January 31st, 1989. And you'll see the relevance of the Bermuda flag here flying above us here in just a moment. Anyways, Sir William Stevenson, he built this location, $12,000 of his own money out of his own pocket. He purchased 275 acres here in Whitby, where he built the first spy school, Camp X. Now, the other thing about Sir William Stevenson that people should know, for all intents and purposes, he is James Bond. Ian Fleming was stationed here during 1943, where he was trained, and he became very good friends with William Stevenson and modeled the character 007 James Bond after Sir William Stevenson. Anyways, so Whitby's taken over this. It's about 17 acres now of the 275, so we're only going to get a very small portion of it, but I'm going to take you around here a little bit and talk about some other things concerning this property that you might find of interest. So let's go mobile. Okay, let me zoom back here. Look at the flag. We'll look at these flags first. Like I was just saying a second ago. We got the Canadian flag, the Bermuda flag, Union Jack, and the mighty Stars and Stripes. For the relevance, I think we all know. And we'll come around to the front here. Beautiful territory here, guys. We got to the vastness of Lake Ontario. It's really windy here. I don't have a windsock, obviously. So I hope the audio works on this, guys. I really do. Anyways, basically this plaque just says what it says on the back. But there's a plaque there signifying this is the location of the Hydra building. Now, had two big giant antennas here for that. Now I'm gonna facing west now. The lake here is due south, so facing west. Now if you go west into a town called Ajax, before it was Ajax, it was actually the location of DIL, Defense Industries Limited, where over 9,000 women worked around the clock stuffing shells. And if you turned, now I'm facing due north, you go a few miles due north to the north part of Oshawa, you go to the Oshawa airport. There's a huge memorial up there also, where over 2,000 men were trained. Sadly, only half of them came back. And if you look just over there behind all those buildings, you'll see General Motors. And the men who weren't in service work there making military vehicles. And about 50 minutes in that direction, you go to a town called Bowmanville. Now in Bowmanville, there is actually an abandoned prisoner of war camp where over 900 senior German officers were housed during the war. Now this was Camp X. This was a secret base. Now did the Germans know it was here? Absolutely knew. They had spies all over the place. But anyways, as you look across the horizon there, I mean obviously those trees weren't here in the 40s, but a lot of that terrain off there in the distance is exactly the way it was in World War II. And if you go right down in there, you can still see craters and stuff like that from live munition tests that they did. Now I think it's over on this part of the property. I'm not really sure because, like I said, we're from 275 down to 17. But in the corner of this property, there's a place called the Farmhouse. Now the Farmhouse is where they did secret killing training. William Fairbanks, probably one of the world's famous secret killers, actually was trained here. Now another interesting trivia about the Farmhouse, I'll walk and talk here, guys. The other interesting trivia about the Farmhouse is the training facility that the CIA have today is actually, they refer to their training center as the farm. Now, referring to the farm is paying direct homage to the farmhouse that was erected here on this property. This was the very first training school in North America. And you walk over here to the trail. Now, I was thinking about going to that war camp. I don't like to refer to it as a war camp. Actually, it turned into a boys' school after that. But a friend of mine and I were thinking about going, taking the camera. I think we had a bit of fun, get a laugh or two. But this is a beautiful park. You know, you got a bike path running through it. There's so much history underneath the soil of this place, guys. I know right now you're looking at this going, oh, it just looks like a field full of trees to me. Well, it does to me too, guys. But you got to remember the historical significance of this place. There wouldn't be a YouTube. I wouldn't be standing here right now talking to you, uploading free videos on YouTube. If it wasn't for the men and women that died during those wars. Sadly, the wars that continue on this big giant rock we're all on here today. But yes, Ian Fleming was, like I said earlier, was stationed here in 1943. And when you watch a James Bond movie, know that this hallowed ground here is where all that inspiration came from. As much as it's just a field full of trees and grass, you can see beyond that. I actually feel honored to even be walking here. As you can see here, we got tire tracks going right down to the lake. Now, intuition tells me that, because cars aren't allowed here, that those are from the police. There's wild parties that go on down here sometimes. That's what I hear. Anyways, so I'm going to put a pause in here, guys, and we'll pick it up at the lake shore. Thanks. See you shortly. Okay, guys, we're back here down at the lake. I did notice it's pretty windy out here. I did replayed that last part back just to see what the volume was like. Hopefully this video is going to turn out, guys. I don't know as far as volume goes because it's pretty windy out here down at the lake, but let me just take you a little shot around. This is up behind all those trees is where we were. I came down there, but we're down here at the edge of the lake where the bluffs are. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's Lake Ontario for you. Vast Lake Ontario. Not the cleanest body of water, but it is what it is. But anyways, you look over here at the bluffs. This is where they did in the middle of night maneuvers. They'd come in and they'd simulate raiding the camp as the training simulation. I've been wanting to come down here actually with a metal detector. You're probably going to find quite a bit of stuff down here, but I also think it's probably been picked through pretty good. Yes, the vastness of Lake Ontario. Like I said earlier, guys, a lot of you guys probably won't find a whole lot of interest in this video, but because all you're going to see is bush. But if you keep in mind what this place is and what it meant to the war effort, what it meant to the history of spy novels, direct influence. Looks like we have a guest here walking his dog. I don't know who he is. He's looking at me like I'm an idiot. Maybe I am. I don't know. Let's go right down the shore.
Nala!
It's okay.
Wet. She's wet. She's gonna go.
It's okay.
Nala!
Totally okay. Okay. Totally okay.
Not what she's doing. It's back. She doesn't listen.
Gotta love dogs.
Nala!
That's okay. Yeah, I don't want to start a fight with that guy. I'll kick my ass. Anyways, that's a shot up the shore here, guys. Some of you guys are stuck in the big city. This is what it's like in Canada. A lot of bush. Bush and water. Something tells me there's a lot of parties down here. I don't know. Someone else tells me that. But this is the trail actually we walked up. But it is really amazing, guys. Even though, like I said, there's a lot of trees filling all this in, but all this had buildings all over it. All over it. Actually, I'm not actually from Oshawa. I'm actually from the Muskoka area, up in Parry Sound area. That's where I was born and raised. But a lot of friends that I have down here were kids said that you could come down here years ago, and there's tunnels. There was actually a tunnel that went from where we were all the way down there to the lake shore. But obviously it was a bit of a hazard. Closed everything down. And also, like I said earlier, there is an abandoned prisoner of war camp in Bowmanville, actually still standing. I'm going to be going there one day with my video camera. Hopefully have a bit of fun. I'm going to bring a buddy of mine. Jeez, this first bit of exercise I had in friggin' years. So I've always been fascinated with history, guys, and I've always wanted to do a little bit of a video, a little bit of a dialogue on this location. Obviously, I'm not the expert here. If you go online, there are some YouTube videos out, but there's a lot of information on this place verifying the majority of what I've tried to explain. Oh, jeez, I'm out of breath, guys. I'm sweating like a pig. Yeah, you can laugh at me. You guys at work, you laugh at me. Because normally I'm sleeping right now somewhere in a corner of the shop, but... Actually, that building right there, not that it's relevant to history, but that's the LCBO building. I'm not a big fan of the booze, but that's where you go. Or jet. Yeah, normally I would put pause in here, but we must make a video out of it. Because guys, I'm gonna put a pause here, guys. Monument. Okay, guys, we'll just finish up here at the monument. I'll just read this really quick to you. Here during the Second World War, more than 500 Canadian and American civilians were trained as intelligence specialists by the British Special Operations Executive, serving on dangerous missions abroad. These secret agents were not legally protected if caught, nor were they openly recognized for their courage and sacrifice. The first school of its kind in North America, Camp X, was also an advanced top secret communications relay station until its close in 1969. The camp's activity helped build intelligent ties between Canada, Great Britain, and the United States, and inspired spy fiction writers. And let's just have a moment of silence for the people who did not return during this war and the wars that continue to rage on in this big giant rock we all live on. Okay, guys, that's it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've kind of enjoyed doing it. I don't know what it's going to turn out like when we get it all uploaded and edited, but wherever it turns out, turns out. Stay tuned for part 2 when we will do a we'll go to the prisoner of war camp that's still standing, and we're going to bring a buddy of mine, so we're going to make some fun. We're going to go through this old abandoned building. If there's interest, guys, let me know. Anyways, Wayne's Butler, signing off. Peace and love to all.